Let me take my.
Great. Okay, Lisa, I'm calling the meeting to order. Just some household administrative items. Please turn off your phones to silent mode. Turn off any distractions in the background. Place your mics on mute unless speaking. Raise your hand when you have a question. Please remember to respond to Lisa's calendar. Raza, I think we talk about that every time, and I just want to reinforce that. And I was going to actually say that today, that it's everybody has busy schedules, but really would appreciate that that if everybody can respond in a timely manner, so that way we know everybody else also can be prepared accordingly. We serve at the pleasure of the governor. Attendance at the meeting is a requirement. So Lisa, would you please start the roll call?
Yes. So far I have Commissioner Khan, Commissioner Shah, Administrative Director Poi, Commissioner Nawaz, Commissioner Shagor. Hi, Hamajit Sadhu. I didn't see him come in. I'm Commissioner Overy and Bashar Preet, and I'm letting Sushma in now.
Great. So we have a quorum, Lisa?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you. So I also want to remind everyone, a motion is made. Somebody please second it. Because we have to. Hello? Sorry, did somebody say anything?
Second.
No, I think somebody has to call the motion. I can't call it, so it has to be somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so somebody,
Motion.
right now we need to call a motion to adopt the agenda. So can somebody please call that motion?
I'll call the motion to adopt the agenda.
I second it.
Okay,
Great.
so
Everybody, sorry, go ahead,
Commissioner Nivea Ori made the motion and Vice Chair Nawaz seconded, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
all in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Yay. Any nays? Okay. Anyone abstained? All right. So motion is passed, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay. Also, we need to pass a motion on adoption of the minutes from the past SPS 1 meeting. Can somebody please call that motion?
Were there any edits to the minutes?
Not from me. Anybody else had any edits to the minutes?
I had
Somebody please.
I had an edit request, but I don't think I can put that forward till the motion is on the floor.
Okay.
Okay, I'll put the motion on the floor for approval. Then in the discussion section, I can probably say something.
Do you have an edit to the minutes?
A recommendation. How's that, Christina?
Okay, but not an edit to the
No,
minutes
no.
as they stand. Okay.
No.
Okay, so Dr. Khan, you passing the motion?
Yes, I put a motion on the floor for approval of minutes.
Can somebody second that, please?
I second it. This is Dr. Nawaz.
So Dr. Nawaz seconded the motion, and so Lisa, if you want to make a note of that, please.
Thank you.
Everybody who approves the motion, say yay. Yay.
Yay.
Anybody who opposes it, say nay. Anybody abstaining from the motion? So Lisa, the motion is passed.
Thank you.
And Dr. Khan, you had some suggestions?
Yes, so it's nothing really procedural, but I was just wondering if we kind of, it's very typical for minutes to have who recorded the minutes. And also it gives credit to Lisa as well. So if there could be a line item at the very end that the minutes were recorded by Lisa, so that would be kind of cool. Usually minutes have that information.
Got it. Okay.
Not a major issue for me.
Sounds good. Good suggestion. Okay, so Christina, do you want to say now, or should I just go to the bylaws discussion?
Why don't we go ahead and have the bylaws?
Sure. So we'll move to number 6 on the agenda. So we had shared some like draft of the bylaws, and I just wanted to ask everybody if they were able to go through it or if they have any changes to it or any suggestions. Okay, looks like nobody has any. So can
No, I do. I don't.
okay, yeah, please go ahead.
And I think Dr. Razakhan is. Couple things in terms of Christina, removal, right? Because we want to be very clear for removing somebody from the commission, where you fail to attend at least 50% of commissioners' regular meetings, and then in parenthetical you have special meetings, committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, working group meetings, emergency meetings are included. So that includes every single meeting. So if somebody doesn't attend some subcommittee meetings, they could be removed from the commission.
Yeah, so it's mainly the 50% of the regular commission meetings. The subcommittee and committee meetings and working group was actually to give a little bit of a bumper, so that if a commissioner misses a majority of more than 50% or more of the regular meetings, but they were able to attend, participate, or chair some of these working group meetings or committee meetings,
Mhm.
then that could be taken into consideration of their participation with the
The way
commission.
I read it, then those meetings also count. So if you could have somebody that attends, the 6 regular meetings and miss the subcommittee meetings and be at 50% and be potentially removed.
I'm sorry.
You could have somebody that attends all the regular meetings, maybe misses the subcommittee meetings for whatever reason. And if let's say they had a subcommittee meeting once every week or something, and they had 12 of them during the year, that person wasn't able to make it. Out of the 6 regular meetings and 12 committee meetings, they would have only attended 6 out of 18 at 33%, and they would be removed. It's not clear. It's just, removal is a pretty big thing, right? So I'm
Yeah.
just wondering
I
how we
agree.
can make that a little bit more clear,
Sure.
so there's no ambiguity.
So do you have any suggestion, Devan, Commissioner Devan?
I could, if you want, I could draft some suggestion up here and send it to you, Christina, if you want. And
That
just
would be great. That would be great.
redline it. Okay.
Yeah, this is our first meeting since those drafted bylaws were sent to you. So a decision doesn't have to be made tonight. You can
Correct.
go
Okay.
ahead and
'Cause
mull it over, discuss it tonight as you have, and then think about what kind of wording.
Okay.
And again,
And-
this is just kind of a template for all of the commissions, and then our commission here can massage it or edit it to fit the needs of this commission.
Okay. You can, I think, Raza had something.
Raza, yeah, please.
Yeah, so I have a lot of edits. I actually worked on a nonprofit bylaw, so I'm going to start with what I say is a serious concern to me. And in fact, I see a violation there. So, Christina, I'm going to allow you to correct me wherever you think I need to be corrected. I don't mind whatsoever being corrected. So the first one, if you guys have the stuff, I'm going to go to the one that are more egregious for me. And then there's some grammatical issues and then some stuff that is not referenced properly. But on page 2, there's a footnote that says the term special meeting and emergency meetings are interchangeable. That's a violation of Maryland law. I know that for a fact. Special meetings, you have to have advance notice to the public. Emergency meetings, you don't. They're not interchangeable whatsoever. So that footnotes need to go away completely. And Christina, you can check that out, but I can tell you, I know that's a violation because we actually had that violation. So that's one that I have an issue with. The second I have an issue with is section 7, and that's voting. And it says this, the vote may be taken by mail and email, provided that the question to the voted shall be fully set forth in a ballot prepared for that purpose, blah, blah, blah. What it simply allows you is to take a vote by mail or by email. That's a violation of a Maryland open public meeting. That Maryland public meeting requires you that the voting must be taken during that meeting, not by an email. Now, you can take the vote like when Chair Takar said, hey, does everyone agree? We can either raise our hand or we can say yay or nod or chat. But what he cannot do is say, hey, email me your votes. So that's a section 7, that's a violation of Maryland open meeting law. So I just want to bring that to your concern that I have that issue. What was the other one? Let me see. Oh, the other one that's not really a violation, but it is a concern, and that's in Article 4 in the committees section, and that's on page 5, where we say that the committee member must have at least 2 commissioners. Okay, so if you have 2 commissioners only in a committee, you allow the committee to hold his meeting with 50% of the members. That means there's one person can hold a meeting and decide unilaterally. And again, that's not a violation, but that's a poor governance standard there. And again, I know that because we have had that issue in a different nonprofit where we did say, well, you can have a committee can only have 2 members, but then a committee can function with 50% of the vote. Usually it's not, I've never seen the word 50%. I always see the majority. And that's my other concern there. But in Article 4, Section 1 and Section 2 is very clear that you could have a committee with just 2 members and the committee can function with 50%. That just means 1%. So that's not a violation, but it's a concern for me. So, so I think my recommendation would be to address that by saying there must be minimum 2 commissioners present for committee to work.
You mean
So
3?
I'm sorry?
Are you saying 3 commissioners? Not
No, I
2?
said 2, but yeah, ideally 3 because that's usually a tiebreaker. But because you allow 2 commissioners to be there, but what you cannot have is a committee with a 50% of membership to function when you say the committee must only have 1. Now you could change the membership to 3. 50% will give you 1.5, and 1.5 doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, so those are the what I'd say serious issues. Now I'm going to go through page by page where I have not some serious issue, but maybe some suggestions there. So I'm going to go to page 1. In page 1, we never define what GOSHI is. We simply say, well, we say Governor's Office of Community Initiatives, but in parentheses, we should use the word the abbreviation is GOSHI because we use that GOSHI a lot, but we have never identified what GOSHI is. The other problem I have is in the very first paragraph, we call the GOSHI as the department, and we never use the word department anywhere. And that's not a protocol. The protocol is if you call something out, you use it. And we use it because it becomes an acronym. So I would say is remove the word department and just say GOSHI, and that makes life better. Back to Devang's point, very, very, Devang, I'll go even further than what you went.
Please.
I don't think just because a commissioner was absent in 50% of the committee meetings, that's an automatic removal. I think that right should be given to the chair of the commission to recommend for removal. I've never ever seen the term that the commissioner shall be considered have resigned. I've never seen that. I think what happens is people discuss that this commissioner has got health issues or whatever, and the chair recommends to either the director or the commission itself for the removal, but I've never seen that. But the other key piece is I agree with Devang is and I agree with Christina too. I think the intent was the regular commission meetings, not the special, not the emergency, not the committee meetings. So I think the way I would frame that is if someone fails to attend 50% of regular commission meetings, then the chair is recommended for the removal. But I don't think you just cease to exist. And as Devang said, this is a big deal. You just don't say, oh, you don't exist. So I think there has to be a procedural either vote or information to the chair, to the director, whatever. On On second page, Article 2, Section 1, small mistake, it says the governor design of GOCI, and I don't think we meant design, I think we meant designee of GOCI. So that's a small spelling error in the Section 1, Article 2, where it says design, so small. I'm gonna skip this because there's something English doesn't jive with me, so I'm just going to skip it.
Right. So, yeah, this is all great suggestions. So I think what we should do is like, if you could, Dr. Khan, if you could just send, that same, all these things, over and then,
Yeah.
work with the
It's not going
Wang.
to take
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, just, send this to the Wang also. And, we'll just, try to figure this out.
Yes.
And we'll probably,
In the chat, I had asked if you can please forward these suggestions and concerns about the bylaws to me via email.
Yeah. Because
And-
the other thing
And
that I
CC
don't want
Lisa
to,
too.
yeah, the
Thank
other
you.
thing I don't want to take time because, for example, there's an Article 4 and there's no Article 5 and there's Article 6. So the others are just spelling issues. But I just wanted to bring the concerns that we want to make sure that we don't violate anything there. The other thing, if I could add, Christina, I don't know if this has been brought to you by other commissions. I think there are a few things that we need to make sure because we have heard from them. We need to have reference. The one is ethic compliance. I think that's not mentioned whatsoever in the bylaws. We should have a reference to that there. The other one, I think you remember, commissioners, when we met with the very first commission meeting or the second commission where Executive Director Walker was there, is the conflict of interest policy. We have talked about it, but I think it should be in the bylaws. So those two other things, they are not in the bylaws. My recommendation to the commission is that they should be referenced in the bylaws, if not
Yeah.
detailed.
So-
But that's about it.
Actually, that could be a reason for potential removal, right? If you violate. the
Yes,
conflict.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What you're saying, Raza, is that the grounds are there, but the ultimate decision's made by the chair.
So to be honest with
It's not automatic because if somebody's
Yes.
sick for 6 months.
yes. And so what I'm not proposing is how it is done because, I think Christina's looked as to how we are governed. Does the commission as a whole, we decide, or does the chair consult with the admin director, in this case, Christina, to consult with the leadership to decide? But there has to be a process, not just you don't attend UCs.
Yeah. Okay.
Great points. Okay, Preeti.
I just want to make sure that we look into one of the things that Raza mentioned, which was the voting by email, like if someone is not there to get quorum, because I in our nonprofit, I know that like if everybody agrees to get quorum, like we do email, and that's in our bylaws and it was approved. So I just want to make sure that, if it's allowed, then I think it's fine as long as we can do that if it's in our bylaws. But I'm hoping that like we'll always have at least 50% participation, so it wouldn't be an issue. But I just want to
Yeah,
I
pretty
want to take it out of the bylaws, and I just want to make sure that we look into it.
May I also just mention about having like a vote in written form and give an example of when you have working groups or subcommittees
Yeah.
where you're working towards like an event or something like that where you have to have a decision made. This is not something really major, but it may be on whether how many dance performances or cultural performance there are at an event. Do you want to be calling a special meeting to be voting on something like that, or to be able to make a decision by having as an example, maybe a survey or Google poll or email exchange?
So Christina, I was just referring to what the Maryland open meeting law requires. So
Right,
I
which
don't
is for the
know.
commission
Which is for
meetings
the
and
commissions,
committee
exactly.
meetings.
Yeah, so maybe committee meetings are separate. So one more thing about the committee meetings that I do not know much about, but your committee meetings in the bylaws allows community members to be present and vote. I think that's not allowable. And again, I don't know much more about the GOSI system, but if your committee, it says that your committees could be considered of commissioners and experts and community members. Their role usually is an advisory role, not a voting member role. So, for example, let's say in education, we could have an expert. I don't think the expert can vote in, oh, this is what we want to do. They have an advisory role, but that is not clearly spelled out. In fact, it's the other way around. It says, oh, anyone in the committee can vote. And then I think that sets a bad precedence from my perspective. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, I
So,
think
I think the key
more
is, I think let's just put this together. And I think to the point what Christy, because sometimes we do have this challenge where, it's hard to get everybody together. And sometimes we do a poll on our, on that Google form or something. And if we can get, certain number of votes, we should be able to move forward. It's, especially with some of these special events and all, there should be some format that we are able to do it electronically. I think we should definitely consider that. And that's something we can come up with the different ways. And Christina, you have some suggestions or you have to say something? Christina?
yes. So I agree with you, Chair.
Okay.
And I just gave the example of in terms of like voting, where it may be either like in written form, electronically, or if it was, something that was sent in the mail. Well, I've had that occur as well. I understand what Commissioner Khan is saying in terms of the Open Meetings Act, but I was also giving the example of when you have a different type of group versus it being a commission meeting.
Correct. Okay, great.
The other thing is you can receive a written vote, whether it be email or electronic survey, and that be presented at the commission meeting for the full vote.
All right.
For full
Sounds good.
input from the commissioners.
That makes sense. Anybody else? Okay, Preeti, you still have your hand raised.
Just a quick question. So the voting is for any specific motions, is that correct? Or is the voting for any consensus on anything?
Christina, you want to take that, please?
So consensus on anything, I believe,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have to, the bylaws, what page is that?
Voting is on page 3.
Thank you.
But I thought that was like, I don't know, the way I read it is for any sort of formal motions. But not necessarily
Yes.
like how many performances and things like that. Like, I think it's like
Right, for formal motions, yes.
Okay.
Raza was bringing up the fact that with the Open Meeting Act that they need to be the votes need to be done there within the meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm referring to only those meetings where we are doing recording and either publicly displaying that, or the public is allowed to observe with limited, experience.
So I know with commissions in the past that there was voting that was allowed in writing prior to the next meeting, that there was a proxy or emailed or votes that were sent via mail, hard copy mail. And they were counted in the in-person meeting.
Okay. All right, great. Okay. So if nobody else has questions, we can move on to number 8. Christian, do you know if Secretary Martinez will be coming on? Are you able to check with her? I can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Sorry, I said I was going to check, and if you would like to just move on to the next item
Got it.
in the
Okay.
meantime. Thank you.
Sure. So we'll go on to number 8, which is Commission strategy goal for 26 and 27. For 26, I think whatever we do, we've discussed this before. We should keep the Maryland 250 in mind and somehow correlate that to things that we are doing. That would be something I would suggest. And for 27, I think we probably need to put a little bit more thought into that as far as 27, how that's going to move. And that should be something we should discuss in one of our meetings in Q3. But does anybody have any suggestions, or anybody wants to make any comments on that? Okay. Emerging issues and opportunities. One of the emerging issues, like we talked about, was trying to make sure that everybody kind of responds to our meetings. And the second is one thing I would like to suggest is that the opportunity is that I think because we have 15 commissioners and we have, I think it's 23 counties, and one Baltimore is, I think, 24. So I was hoping to, at some point, if everybody can start thinking about taking responsible for certain counties and trying to be there for those events and trying to make it more organized in a way, also to reach out to the communities there, the South Asian communities, and be the main point of contact with that. There's a commission, it's the Hispanic Commission, which has been very successful at that. And I have some pointers from them, which I would share with you guys in another meeting. But I just wanted everybody to think about it and see if that would be a good idea. And if anybody else has any suggestions or any other things they would like to bring up, please raise your hand, and like to hear your opinion on that. Okay, looks like we're moving on to the next line of business, which is the commissioner business. And we'll start with the old business, starting with the business and economic development. I think two of the, Obaid and I think Faisal are both not on the meeting, and respectfully, I respect, they have Ramadan, so, that's understandable. Anybody else on the business and economic development who would like to make any comments, or if you guys have had some meetings or something? Okay, it looks like that's not there. And I think Dr. Nawaz, I mean, during your health session, if you could kind of discuss about what we talked about and see if there could be some coordination between the business and the health committees to do the events that we are talking about. That'd be great.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But thank you, Preet. Actually, myself, Preet, and Bishal had a conversation actually a couple of days back from the 250th anniversary perspective. As Southeast Asians, we have a very large presence in the state of Maryland from healthcare sector standpoint. So we were planning to arrange a health care summit actually by end of September. And we definitely need participation from all the commissioners actually, and put their thoughts together. We want administration and the governor office to be part of it too. And the way we did business summit actually last year, this year we would like to do clinical and mental health summit by the end of September. So it's in conversation, but obviously it's a big undertaking. So we wanted to put it in front of everybody and get some opinions and feel from the commissioners what they feel and how we are going to put the whole team together to make this healthcare summit successful.
Thank you, Dr. Nawaz. So one thing, I think Aarti is Aarti on now? I know she said she might be a little. Oh,
Yeah,
Aarti's here.
Aarti is there.
Okay, Aarti's here. Okay, so let's go on to the community commission subcommittee, and Aarti, if you could please just give some input.
Oh, sure. So hi, good evening, everyone. So we met with some of our partners, I think actually beyond just the community subgroup. Really, the focus was for defining Maryland 250 and how this commission can show up and activate. And so we had some really robust conversations around some ideas and thoughts based on the survey that I had shared with all of the commissioners. And I think, from where the conversation was, we didn't get too many votes, but again, we are a small commission, so we went with what we had. And there was a high vote cast for the Peace Garden. So we did discuss that as well. And Preet had shared information with me about doing a collaborative event with all of the other commissioners, all the other commissions, and doing one event, and that event being a peace walk. And so I did share that with the group. The group was fully supportive of it, and so we thought, I think it would be a really grand way for us as all of the commissions to collaborate on one event, identify a date, and then obviously all of the planning pieces that go with it. And so we did discuss that. There was also another idea, again, collaborating with the other commissions around I think it was a culture day or culture event. I know that they've applied for a grant for this event for some budget to allow for this event to take place. So just waiting to see what the update is on both of those. Those will be collaborative events. The other event that we thought as a commission to specifically focus on our community, the South Asian Commission, we were discussing some of the lower, I guess maybe low maintenance, if you will, some of the low hanging fruit, low maintenance events, really focusing on digital spotlights of community partners, and recognizing community leaders throughout our diaspora on who we'd want to highlight and the work that they've done throughout the community. So we were talking about some ideas around do we do a student capsule? Do we do someone that's within the healthcare capsule? Just so on and so forth. But again, these are just high level discussions. We thought that could be something that we focus, a sharp focus on the South Asian community, because I think the other two events would certainly require a much grander lift from not only this commission, but all of the commissions. So it's just going to be much more of a bandwidth requirement for all of the commissions to commit to, as well as the commissioners for each commission. So we thought the digital campaign would be something that was a low maintenance, high impact initiative. And so we wanted to share that with you all today and just, I guess, maybe just hear your thoughts. Aman attended, Arjuna attended, Shushma, as well as Preeti attended. And I don't know if I'm missing anyone. I think Lisa attended. I'm not sure if Lisa attended as well. Yeah. So I'm going to pause there and ask for feedback from the other commissioners that were unable to attend that meeting and what your thought is on those ideas for MD 250. Don't just all jump at once for the excitement.
Can somebody please raise their hand? Or do we have to volunteer them, Aarti? I think we'll have to just volunteer each one of them. You got to just call them out. Okay,
I guess I will go to Christina. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I thought I'd give some clarity on the multicultural event with the other commissions. So just to clarify, it's there has not been a proposal sent in for a grant. There are no grants through Maryland 250 at this point. as I explained in our last meeting, that those were for in 2025, but this would be more for a sponsorship support. And actually, I was speaking with Maryland 250 director and just on Tuesday about this. Just to give a little bit more background, we've put together a draft for a proposal for the Maryland 250 celebration as a multicultural event that's honoring the rich diversity of the different communities that have shaped Maryland over the past 250 years. And we are inviting the all of the ethnic commissions of GOCI, as well as the Governor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, which is also part of GOCI, and the Maryland Women's Commission. We were inviting them. We've put out a invite to them, as well as the Maryland's Commission on African American History and Culture to collaborate on this. And it would include cultural performances, interactive education stations, authentic ethnic cuisine, youth leadership and storytelling, information and resource tables. And we're looking at having it in September, probably that second weekend of September. I think it's what, the 12th?
Right, 12th, 11th and 12th, I think.
Yeah. So the reason why we're choosing September is there are already a lot of events already in July, August. Maryland 250 Commission will be very busy with that. They want this to be, they'd like for this to be a big event. There's Citizenship Day, Citizenship Day, which is in September. I believe that's the 17th of September. Is that right, Preet? I was talking with you this afternoon.
Correct, that's right.
Right.
17th.
Okay.
17th September, right.
So we want to, I know with the Governor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, they really like to have that, emphasized because they want, they'd like to highlight that and do outreach for citizenship, having people apply for citizenship, and they will have resources there. That is the intent. So what else? The expected impacts would be honoring different traditions and histories of Maryland's ethnic populations, providing platforms for our artists, performers, and youth to share the heritage, strengthening civic bonds, and promoting intercultural dialogue, highlighting invaluable contributions of our diverse small businesses across the state, and showcasing Maryland's diversity as a key part of the Maryland 250-year story, and supporting our local economy by elevating and increasing the visibility of these of our small businesses. So we have not heard back yet from the Maryland Women's Commission. There was interest by the director of the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture, but I don't know if their commission has met about this. And so right now, that's where we stand. The proposal has not been submitted to the Maryland 250 Commission. I've been asked to wait until we hear back from a few more commissions and before submitting it. One other suggestion that was brought forth was to have a parade of participants and attendees wearing native dress from the different ethnic backgrounds. So I don't know if anybody saw the inauguration of the new governor over in Virginia, but they had like a parade of people from different organizations and different backgrounds. And so this was a kind of a thought of doing something similar. And so sharing, but also representing. And then one of the questions was with the potential peace walk that was mentioned earlier, is this something that we want to incorporate as a part of that parade and make it combined, or just have it as a parade and just as a part of this multicultural celebration? So just food for thought. When we talk about having a peace walk, I don't know if the committee spoke about logistics, whether it be in a park or the distance of the walk. So I'm asking that question.
Yeah. So Christina, just I mean, I think you put a lot of things on the table. So just to as far as look, we were all planning 250, and as a commission, all the commissioners, chairs of all the commissions had got together to do something collectively, right? So I think this is just an expansion of that. That's where Michelle is taking this forward with just what we talked about, and adding and GOSI was supposed to be involved in this. That was always the understanding from the beginning, right? So the understanding is still the same, basically. To have a collective. Ultimately, if it's a Maryland 250 event, this is just my thought. And Aarti, of course, I'd like you to chime in there, and others to chime in. It seems like are you trying to say that this is a totally different event? I mean, I don't know where this is coming from, because from my understanding was that this event was going to be supported by Maryland 250, by GOSI, and all the other organizations that come under GOSI, and we're going to do something collectively. So that was always the idea. I mean, is this something totally different? That walk for peace was, and there was also supposed to be a cultural event that the chairs had talked about. So we already had that plan. So I'm just trying to understand, what this is exactly. And we did put in a proposal for funding for the peace for the multicultural event. That was what Chair Yang had put in.
It hasn't been put forth to that has not been submitted.
But I thought, no, she submitted it to GOSI, right? I mean, was it not?
She submitted to GOSI, so we have it.
Yeah, I know, but the point I'm trying to ask you is, is this? I mean, this was supposed to be a collaborative event, which was started by the chairs of the commissions. Is this something now that 250 is taking over and they're going to do it on their own, or what exactly this is? Because,
no, 250 is not. 250 is not. The Maryland 250 is not organizing this.
Okay.
I don't understand the question, because GOCI is
the way
organizing
you're asking
this.
is that,
Pardon?
is this something that will be collaborative, or is, again, it seems like it's more what the way it's coming across is that, that GOSI is putting this together rather than the chairs of the commissions who originally started it, to kind of put this together. So I'm just confused a little bit. Like, who's going to lead it? What's the vision?
GOCI has the lead on this.
Of course. Yeah.
With the input of the chairs. Well, I mean, not of the chairs, it's of the commissions. I mean, the chairs are the spokespersons for the commissions. So, but it's not just the chairs making decisions. It's not the chairs making the decisions.
Correct. That's understandable. Basically it's, with the commissions, and I think most of the commissions, a lot of them have already voted on it. I don't know if you're aware of that, but they've already agreed to have the peace march, and, we've already talked about all those things. So is this just going to be kind of rolled into that, or is this something separate?
I think the thing is that the other commissions have had their SPS 2 meetings already, and ours was postponed. And the Asian Pacific Americans Commission's SPS second meeting was also postponed.
Okay, I'm going to have other people ask the question. Dr. Nawaz, please ask it.
I have a very basic and simple question. Maybe I'm very naive to this whole process. How many events are we looking at for the 250, Maryland? I mean, one question I have, two parts of question. Number one, how many events for individual commission who can do it, or how many events combined commissions are going to do it? Is there any number?
There's no set number. I've said this before. You can do one, you can do more than one, you can do a few, they can be very simple, they can be elaborate. It's really up to you and your bandwidth.
And I'm sorry, I'm just piggybacking on my own question actually. So financially, there is nothing from the GOSI. This is all going to be a sponsored money. Whenever we are looking at from the funds perspective, commissions have to raise that fund, right? Is that true?
Yes. Now the one where there is the proposal for the multicultural, we are putting forth a proposal for potential funding from the Maryland 250 Commission.
Okay.
So that's something separate. Anything else, each commission would be responsible for getting their own sponsorships or funding for those.
But for this one, you said is going to be the 250 is going to be funding it.
We are putting forth the proposal for that. So that includes in that proposal is funding.
Okay. Dr. Khan.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Christina, you had mentioned this, so that's good because I was going to have this part of my education committee report now, which I won't do that. But just for everyone's benefit, Christina had brought this up to the education committee that she attended there. I love the idea of collaboration. Don't get me wrong. And I've been one of the first few people who have always said I want to collaborate with other commissions too. So Christina, my focus is going to be on the multicultural event that includes performances, exhibits, workshop, interactive education stations. And then you also mentioned that it will have probably resource table for state services, citizenship. I'm thinking there are going to be committee members who want to do the medical stuff, the health stuff too. Where I'm concerned slightly is an excellent idea on the table has ballooned to be a very big event. And I think if we fail as a South Asian Commission, we look bad at that event because this is a Goshi event and we should be doing this. So my concern is this. We have seen when we stress out, and you're right about the bandwidth, Christina. The exact word is the bandwidth here. Aarti is aware of this too as well. We have limited bandwidth, limited manpower, and then we have to ask for funding as well. I don't know how much MD250 will fund, but my concern is you brought that up at the education committee that they were looking for a host community college. If that has not been decided, it's a very small amount of time. I really don't care, but I do know Preet is one example now too, because his grandkid will be in daycare soon before he knows it. But people have kids, and from June 15 to September to the Labor Day is almost like a dead season to do anything with almost anybody. People take vacation, kids go out. And so when we come back from Labor Day, that just does not give us much time. So we have to plan this before June 15th. So at the very least, we ought to know, I'm just calling it out.
You mean by September?
I know. Yeah, September.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is by the end of, no, I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is by the end of this month, we ought to know what college is this going to be hosted at, because that's where,
Howard Community College.
Okay, so that's good to know, because I think that's something we didn't know when we had that meeting. So I think that does trigger us to go on somewhat an overdrive mode, because if all the commissions are going to do this, then we should put our, at least I'm going to speak for me, but I'm hoping everyone agrees on this on my screen here, that we ought to put our best foot forward and present whatever we were talking about, because I think you did say, and I'm going to just reiterate for the benefit of the commission, what you said was it is going to include performances, exhibits, workshop, interactive education stations, and resource tables for services. And I think you said state services, but also citizenship.
Yes.
So, I just want the whole commission to be aware that's a loaded amount of good stuff in very short amount of time. And I really don't want to keep June, July, August in the play whatsoever, because I think a lot of people, including Preet, will be busy with the kid.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, thank you for that. Okay. Aarti?
So I have a few questions. I'm going to bucket these. So I'm going to leave the September multicultural event. I'm going to put a pin in that for now. For this walk, I need to understand who is spearheading this. If this is from the Go See office spearheading and the commissions are a part, we're playing a part in the planning. So who is spearheading it? From what I was advised, because this is a collaborative event, there would be a committee that's put together. Has there been a committee put together for this? And if not, when is that happening? I'm just a little concerned based on
This
what
is
I-
for the Peace Walk?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This is for the Peace Walk event. I'm concerned because we all know that it takes quite a bit of a lift for any of our events to come to fruition, especially when it's a collaborative event. There's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. So I'm not clear on any of it. Who's spearheading it? Who is leading the planning? Is there a planning committee that's created or implemented? And if so, this group is not a part of that just yet. I understand the chairs have been meeting, and also timeline. When is this event planned for? And then I was not aware that we needed to provide sponsorships for this event. So, and maybe that's incorrect information. I just have a lot of unanswered questions that I need answers to in order for the commission.
Aarti, I can answer that. Sorry, not to cut you off. So the thing is, right now there is no real committee put together. We had actually, put this on GOSI's table, right? That this is what we want to do, and then we were advised that we're going to get, the African American, the Indian American community, and the historic, all these involved, right? So what Christina is talking about today is something totally, new and which was never really, we had no idea about this till. Basically, I had a conversation with Christina today afternoon, and she kind of briefed me on it, and we were decided we'll bring it up in this meeting, and so there is, and that was part of what the thing is, like, because we can't really have, commissions can't have multiple events, right? I mean, we can't have a peace walk, then we have this September event, and then we have a multicultural event. It's not humanly possible for us. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it just doesn't make any, collaborative sense. I think what we really need to do is, and I've suggested to Christina, is to have a meeting with all the chairs, of each commission, with Christina involved and GOSI involved. And if somebody from the 250, if Michelle needs to be there, or, anybody else who's getting involved in this, to really figure out, because we can't do a peace walk and then we do this event. That's not going to be, and then they wanted to do a multicultural event. So what will, from my just thinking out loud, would make sense is to combine everything into this one day if we can, and just make that, a peace parade, or a walk, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing, basically you're walking, It's not like one is doing, except you're wearing certain kind of clothes and walking in groups. I mean, if that's what it takes, we can kind of, but right now there's no real committee formed. There's no real committee formed. So there's nothing really formalized, which is, and everybody was waiting for the SPS2 meetings from each of the commissions to really get the vote to see if everybody's supporting these, this event. But my firm belief is we should just do one big event as a collective commission, not like have multiple events. I mean, that's my 2 cents. And, I don't know what you think, but that's what I want to
Because
say.
I had the same questions that Artie was asking, because I didn't know who was organizing, if there was a committee that was starting to form, like a working committee. And so I started asking Preet these questions this afternoon.
So and to
So
that
is
point,
Ghost-
Christina, I think, that's where, from my understanding is we have to go to GOSI, and GOSI will organize us to get this done. right? I mean, we can't really do anything on our own. So we were looking for this SPS2 to end for all the commissions to make sure they all align. So I think now we got to move to the next step of really getting organized and really making it move because time goes by really fast. And then the other thing was we were planning our, big conference, which was the health conference in September, but this came as a surprise to me, to be honest with you. And so now that's another thing. I mean, how do you will have to kind of just think about that too. So I mean, this just kind of, so let's, I think what we need to do is, as the next step is kind of move, where you probably need to get all the chairs organized. And now that all the commissions are agreeing to do one event together, we need to go to the next step and start, moving to forming committees, and for you to give us a list of all the organizations or all the organizations, the GOSI that want to get involved in this. And we have to really, like we did for the business conference, we'll have to start different committees, get all the people involved, and really start moving on this.
So my question to this commission specifically is, would you like to be involved in this multicultural event?
Well, I think we had already said we were going to. Aarti, go ahead. I mean, you might want to take that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a meeting with the smaller group. I know Lisa did attend. We discussed this multicultural event. We discussed the peace walk, and then we discussed the survey that I had sent out to the group. I think as a commission, we are happy to be a part of a collaborative event. We need guidance on planning, and if it's going to be a collaborative event, what is the planning committee? Because this does, based, what Raza was sharing earlier, this is going to be a pretty significant event, and it needs to be all hands on deck, and it can't just be the same 4 or 5 people showing up from each commission. But we need guidance.
So Christina, what do you think next step will be from GOSI side?
Well, I think, first of all, I mean, we have a proposal that's written. It's just being kind of fine-tuned. I guess what we were looking for to see if there was interest by the different commissions for the involvement, because we want to be able to take in to account for budgeting purposes. And if the commission is not interested in being involved, then we need to make those adjustments. But just to give you an idea, and these amounts may change. This is just a draft, but in terms of funding, we had kind of broken it down to like $600 towards performances, $400 towards education, $1,600 for the food, and another $400 towards promotion. And this would be towards each commission, like $3,000 combined. Each commission potentially might be requesting that amount.
So Christina, that was based on the previous, just the peace walk, right? I mean,
that's not the peace walk. I'm not talking about the peace walk at all.
Not peace walk. I mean, it was just for a multicultural event.
The multicultural event.
Correct. But now we're adding a lot more. So
I'm sorry. So what are you adding? When you say a lot
is
more?
The whole you're adding the parade walk, you're adding there, whole different line of events with vendors coming in, displaying food. You're adding more.
No, the vendors and the food, that was all already in there. So talking about a peace walk, that was the only, or parade was the only addition. And that's why I was asking, is this something, are you planning on having a separate event, a separate peace walk where you have to plan? And that's why I was asking questions like, what is the length of the peace walk? Are you planning to do a mile? Or is it something that's 2K? I don't know. I mean, I haven't been a part of those discussions, so I was asking you these questions earlier, Preet, and I asked those who may have been in any kind of discussions about this peace walk. I don't have any information, so I was asking because when you think about it, you might have to rent a space, get a permit from a parks and recreation or something. I'm just putting these questions out there.
Correct.
Okay.
Fine. Okay,
Do you
so
need to get water? Do you have to have
yes,
tables to
yes.
have like water or snacks or whatever for this peace walk?
Correct. I think now that the SPS, 2 meetings are over with the commission, so everybody wants to have the peace walk and the cultural event, from my understanding, and they want to, and to combine it may not be a bad thing. So I think we'll have to just have another meeting with the rest of the chairs. What exactly, because now there's a whole another thing that's kind of been introduced, right? So we kind of now got 3 things going here. So originally they just wanted to do a cultural event and they wanted to do a peace walk, right? But now I'm understanding you also want to do a parade and do, other things with the vendors and all. So I think we just need to have a more of a detailed meeting with the rest of the commissioners, chairs, and then kind of come up with the final decision. But from go ahead. Hi, Faisal.
Sorry, in general, I think Preet and Christina, I think this is a great idea. I think we should embrace this. I know it's a lot of work,
Right.
but let's not, be discouraged. I think we should all jump in it. This is a good thing that we're trying to do here. So I think we have enough bandwidth and the manpower. I mean, not much bandwidth, obviously, but we can put together a good show. I think. I'm pretty optimistic into this event. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so as next step, Christina, will you then organize the next meeting, and what is the next step from your end, from GOSI end?
So, I think that I'm going to try and organize a meeting with the different commission chairs and GOCI staff that would be involved with taking kind of a lead on getting this organized and the proposal into the Maryland 250 Commission.
Sure. My
So
request
sorry,
is only let's do it sooner than later. Yeah.
Is this when
Of course.
Christina, based on what you just, is this for the peace walk or is this for the multicultural event?
The multicultural. I don't know anything about the peace walk. That's why I was asking Preet. So I was asking questions. Who is organizing? Is there a lead? And the logistics, have those been discussed? I was asking those types of questions.
So Aarti, what my sorry, Dr. Nawaz, please go ahead.
I just have a quick thing. Actually, I think the best thing to do, the way I'm hearing all the conversations, if there is a way to put all our efforts as a commissioners, actually from different commissions, to put one big mega show.
Correct.
I think that'll be much more successful as compared to dividing ourselves to different events. And
Totally
from the
agree.
peace walk, I think we should have one big mega show. Which should be multicultural, having some support from the GOTI, having some support from the sponsors, and make it a big event actually with a big bang. That will be my suggestion, actually.
Aarti, what do you think?
I was going to say that I think that based on our discussions that we had with the smaller group 2-3 weeks ago, talking about this, I think if there is greater support for this multicultural event, and clearly there is because it's being led and spearheaded by MD250 and the GOSI office. I think it is genuinely a great idea for us to also then support in collaboration with all of the other commissions. I want to just go back. I know that the group had talked about, if we do this bigger event, if we're a part of it, if we're not, we still want to do something just for our South Asian diaspora. So maybe the bigger event is that multicultural event that's scheduled for September, right? And then we can still do a low low maintenance digital campaign where we are pushing out. I know Lisa had sent that email about social media and getting that up and running, pushing out some of these spotlights. And I think breaking that out over the course of, I don't know, a month, maybe the summer. I don't know. We can talk about how this unwraps, but making a genuine campaign to spotlight the South Asian community leaders, students, and the bigger lift for us would be participating and collaborating all of our efforts towards the September event. I think that does make sense from a bandwidth perspective, and from also, I know Raza was concerned about, not concerned, but just, pointing out the fact it is going to be summer and lots of folks travel during that time. So I think if we can align on this framework, then I have a roadmap, because
Sure.
I need my brain to say, okay, we're doing a September event. This is what I need. We're doing a digital campaign. This is what we need.
Agreed. And at least I totally agree. And does anybody have any objection
Do
to
we need-
what? Sorry, do we need to put a
We need to
motion
vote.
this?
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you have any? Okay, so can somebody please put this motion forward to have one digital campaign and then do one major event with all the other commissions?
Motion.
Can I?
Wait, yes, sorry. I think Nivea put in that motion, but I think Preeti, you had your
Yeah,
hand.
before we do the motion, real quick. So that's from the entire commission, but not the subcommittees, because I know the education subcommittee is working on something. So is that getting nixed?
No. So look, for 250, you can do as many events as you like. Okay. This is only from the community subcommittee, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what they. So for
Okay.
250, we can do as many events as we like. That's not a problem.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think this is more from a perspective of organizing as, the whole South Asian cultural, diaspora with the rest of the committees.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So who's seconding the motion?
I second the motion.
I'm sorry, what is the motion?
Motion is to see for the 250 event where the community subcommittee is going to have one event from the digital perspective, and the second event we're going to do is only one big event with the rest of the commissions. We're not going to do more than one event with the rest of the commissions.
So it's one event with the digital.
Correct.
So it'll be a digital campaign
Campaign.
spotlighting South Asian community members. That will be just this commission's activation. And then will be the collaborative event, which is the multicultural event that's scheduled for September. We will be a part of that.
Commissioner Bott, would you be able to put the motion written form in the chat so that it's clear for everybody?
Sure.
Okay.
That way everybody can be sure of what they're voting on, or the motion, and then if it's seconded. And just to update, Special Secretary Maria Martinez has sent her apologies. She got called into another meeting and doesn't know if she'll be able to join us. So I just want to give you that update.
All right. I think should we wait? Okay.
Does everybody,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Okay.
read this for those who cannot read the chat. You may be calling in on your phone. So Commissioner Bott made the motion to propose a South Asian American digital campaign, and that the South Asian American Commission will participate in the collaborative multicultural event in September for Maryland 250.
And who seconded?
Nivea had made the motion, I seconded.
Yeah,
Nivea.
So
Okay.
Nivea made the motion? Okay, thank you.
right. And then Aarti seconded it.
Thank you.
So Christina, one thing, so this is definitely moving forward, this September event?
Yes,
Okay.
but I wanted to know if the South Asian American Commission was interested in being one of the participants as a commission.
All right, sounds good.
So
Everybody
do
in
we have
favor, say
do we
yay.
have did we have the vote?
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry,
Go
Sushma,
ahead.
you need to say something before the motion? Okay,
Was there any other discussion?
no, I
Just-
think it's good.
I was just going to say, I know a while back we had talked about doing a blood drive. And I didn't know if we were still thinking about that. I was able to speak to some of the commissioners on to Roxanne, Commissioner Roxanne, and she told me that it's really, really easy for us to set these up. She works, I believe, with Giant. And she had said somebody else, and she said she would get me the contact information if that was something that if we wanted
Yeah.
to look into it. So
So
if,
that's
sorry,
what
go ahead.
we're going to discuss on the health side, on the health.
Okay, I
on the
thought we had
healthcare.
talked about this as being part of Maryland 250. So if not, then that's cool too. But I just wanted to put that out there
No.
too for the Maryland 250.
Yeah, Shushma, you're right. You're in terms of your thought process, and Preet, you're correct as well. The conversation was that the blood drive was one of the ideas that we had polled that got high votes. So the blood drive I think we all support a blood drive, and the idea is that there is a health fair or an exploration of a possible health fair that this commission would be hosting in part of the health committee, and the blood drive would be a part of that because of the traffic, right? The foot traffic that we would get for the fair itself. And so the blood drive would be a part of that. Yes, it was under the umbrella of a health committee fair,
Correct.
but also under the umbrella of FMMD 250.
Correct. And I think, Dr. Nawaz will elaborate on that, on the
Yeah,
250 and the
absolutely.
health fair. Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, that can be part of the health fair or health summit. And when we are doing the different events for the patients, that should also be part of it, please.
All right. So if that is cleared up, so everybody in yay of Aarti's motion, please say yay.
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 Any nays?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, all yays. Okay. Any nays? Anybody abstaining? So the motion is now passed. That could be recorded. Thank you. All right.
Let me just
And
put my-
Lisa, did you get all of the record of all of the yays?
Yes.
Okay, we do have 12 or 11 commissioners on right now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Agree. Yeah, Aarti.
Just a quick
This is-
question. So I'm gonna connect Lisa with you on I know you. I'm just thinking back to your social media email. I'll just connect with you separately offline in terms of the process for us to. We'll collect all the information and the formatting and the templates, and then I'll just connect with you. Or do you recommend I connect with someone else and putting you and both Christina on CC?
You would connect with Tanea and then CC me and Christina. She does everything for the social media.
Okay, that's great. So, so for the group itself, what I'll do is, I'll put the framework together, if you will, and then let's start, I guess, maybe ideating on how we want this to look. Do we do this by groups? Do we do this by obviously counties? But do we do this by like a group of students? Do we do group of, college grads, whatever it is? I just need some thoughts and ideas. So let me put a framework together. I'm going to push that over to all of you over email. And I'll probably just create a Google Drive file to collect names and recommendations of who we want to highlight and things of that. Ideally, I think we do this, again, it's going to be based on the bandwidth that Tanea also has, right? In terms of what she's able to push out when. I'll get those details from Tanea. So maybe this is on a bi-weekly cadence or maybe on a weekly cadence. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like for now. I'll get that information from her. But at the same time, I'll put together this framework, and then we will then need to collect ideas and thoughts and names for community members we want to spotlight. So just be on the lookout for that.
Okay, and do you have her email address?
I do, yes. Thanks,
He
Lisa.
said. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Aarti. Okay. All right. So right now the time is 7:22, so we have about 40 more minutes. So we'll move on to the Education Commission. Dr. Khan, did he have to step out? I think he had to step out. So maybe what we can do is we can move on to the Health Commission, if that's okay. And then when he comes back, we can go back to the Education. Dr. Nawaz, do you want to please?
I think
go
there's
ahead?
nothing much to add except for this conversation which we had, and we will continue having further conversations. And I wanted to ask the commissioners actually how to put the team together actually for Healthcare Summit by end of September.
So, Dr. Nawaz, would you be then open to doing it also with the Business Commission? Because this is, kind of and I think Faisal is here now. Faisal, one of the things we were thinking was, because, this is also going to be a healthcare commission, kind of almost a conference, semi-conference. So, and do you think that they could be collaborative with you and Dr. Nawaz on this one? And
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Preeta, I personally feel that we'll need collaboration from all the commissions. I think all the subcommittees actually, from the business side point of view, the community outreach. Definitely, I think it's going to be a collaborative effort actually to put this big show together.
No, absolutely. But what I was thinking was, I know that in the business and economic development, they were talking about doing something. So, Faisal, would you like to talk about?
I would love to do that actually, because that kind of falls under the overall business strategy and the health side. So yeah, definitely.
That's what I was trying to say. Obviously, we're going to need help from all the commissions, all the subcommittees and the commissions, and everybody to participate in this one, because this is a little going to be bigger than But I was thinking, rather than having two initiatives, especially with 250, if we can combine it as a business health conference, I think that would be very.
Just to float one thing, actually, just before Devang was saying that we will need the summit chair, which I guess, which I'm presuming Bishal is going to be the running summit chair. We will need a project manager. We will need the logistics coordinator. I mean, obviously, all the help we if we can get from the administration will be great. Actually, the way they did it during the business summit, we will need the sponsorship and partnership manager. We will need marketing and communication manager in this, and the coordinator for the speaker program. So I think is a lot of things. The whole team is required to be built actually from our commission, please.
Yeah, Devang, you have a question?
No, just real quick. Faisal, you may do maybe a health IT or component and combine it with the health.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like with the health, I wanted to bring in the technology as a bridge to health.
And what's happening here in Montgomery County with the Center for Health Computing.
Correct.
Maybe we can even host it. We can even host it there and get University of Maryland med school and computer science. I mean, I think you're on the board or something. You, Maryland.
Exactly. I'm on the board, and I'm actually coming back from UMD. So yes, absolutely. I can bring in all the powerhouse. Yeah.
That'll be great. That'll be great.
Yes.
So Dr. Nawaz, what do you think are the next steps? I mean, how do you, because one thing now, there's a little bit with the September combined, do you think it'll be okay to move it another month into October, or would that be too late, or, what's your thought?
I think it's going to be fine. Actually, October will work fine too. But what my suggestion will be that if we can set up a time, maybe Bishal will be part of it too, to set up a meeting with all the chairs of subcommittees of our commission. And I think see how to organize this team together. And that will be my suggestion moving forward first.
Correct. Okay. So, all right. So I think Vishal and you are taking the lead on this, and with Faisal, that'll be great. I mean, I'd really
Sure.
appreciate that. And obviously, you're available. And then if you can come up with the outline, then we'll start, putting the committees together and starting to move forward in the right way.
Yes.
In fact,
Yes.
one of the side will be also you might need, from the legislature side. So obviously it's going to be a bunch of different things. What's going on in legislature and Maryland with the medical side. We talked about that too. So I think this is going to be really inclusive of everybody, education-wise too, and healthcare education, things like that. So it's going to be a great.
I have one thing, Preet. I think from Christina perspective, please, Christina, we would like to know the availability of the state representatives too during that meeting. I just want to make sure that what month will be the right month for us to conduct this, because their presence is going to be very important actually from state perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in October you might have, because November is election, so I think October you might get a lot of interest, for.
Okay.
Yeah, September is pretty busy. And I'm concerned with I know that RT had mentioned in the chat about Asian Pacific American Heritage Month coming up. And then also if we're doing the involved with the multicultural event in September, having the health, is it a conference? I actually want to ask that question as well. Is this are we looking at it as a conference?
Yes, it's going to be a conference slash patient education, preventative care. So it's kind of a summit, actually. It will be a part of the whole day event, actually.
Okay, so like a one-day event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that'll include the blood drive and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
kind
It's
of
going to be part of the whole thing.
Oh, okay, including the blood drive. Okay.
Can I just
Yeah, the one,
clarify?
sorry,
So
you have
this
another.
this is mostly for providers.
Not only for
conference.
providers, actually, providers and the patient and the communities also. So it's going to be combination of both. So we will involve different organizations from physicians' perspective. API will be involved, APNA will be involved, all the physician organizations will be involved to provide the preventative care for the patients. Blood drive will be on at the same time. And then in the afternoon, again, this is all I'm talking. Nothing is being planned yet, actually. And the afternoon, conducting a roundtable conversations, the panel discussions, the way we did during the business summit. And so having different representatives from the different fields of healthcare, and open it up a forum for physicians and from the patient's perspective, community perspective, actually.
So Sushma, the thought process is in the beginning, and the first half is going to be all, patient, communities, blood drives, interaction with different pharmaceutical companies, a lot of that stuff, right? It's a combination, meet and greet. And then the later half runs more into panel discussions and other things that, this is just an overall view. It's not decided yet, but there's a lot of, different things that are going on. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
A venue will be needed that has indoor
Correct.
accommodations.
So yeah, and then that's why we're looking at, University of Maryland or something.
Okay.
And that's one of the we talked about this. It's nothing's decided, like I said. And Dr. Nawaz will keep everybody updated.
Yeah, and we'll keep you guys updated. Actually, it's just the beginning of the conversations right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Dewan, sorry, you have another question?
Well, it actually has to do with my report. Am I next, or?
Yes, you are. Yes, sir. You are
Okay,
next.
so there are two bills that we've been asked to support. One from the Middle Eastern Commission and one from the Indian Affairs Commission. Okay, but when I was reading through these two bills, one of them listed an appendix of official commemorative days and months in Maryland, which are a part of the statute. And one of them is South Asian American Heritage Day, which when I was on the commission with Governor O'Malley, we got passed, and it's October 2nd. So I don't know if the timing would work and the day would work where we could combine these events and onto October 2nd, which is a Friday, and also commemorate that day because we've never commemorated that day. It happened right at the end of O'Malley's administration, and then things kind of died out. So just a thought, if we want to kind of wrap it all up together. So that's one thing, and I don't know if that's up for discussion or I should just move on, Preet, to.
No, I mean, yeah, Dr. Nawaz, what's your thought on that? Friday would work? I think you're on mute, Dr. Nawaz.
Keeping in mind, I don't know how many. I'm sorry, I missed that actually. Friday for the summit.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
October 2nd is like South Asian designated South Asian
Heritage Day.
Heritage Day.
Yeah, I mean, we can try, but obviously it's a working day. So how many?
I think wasn't the business conference on a working day also, Faisal?
No, I think it was weekday.
No, it was a weekday.
It was a weekday. Yeah.
It was on a Thursday.
Thursday.
It was on Thursday. Right.
Yeah, the business conference, it should be on a weekday, please. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose. I mean,
Then that's fine. Then Friday is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great suggestion. We can look at that day. Tentatively, we can look at October 2nd.
Okay.
And then, as you have your discussions, if there's something comes up, I think that's a great idea, Devang. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Middle Eastern Commission's asked us to support their bill, the hearings on March 17th, requiring the governor to annually proclaim the month of January as Muslim American Heritage Month and the month of May as Jewish American Heritage Month, and requiring proclamations and organizations observe these months with programs. So I don't see any issues. I talked to Preet with us supporting this bill. Does anybody see any issues, or do we? And I guess we would send a letter in support that I can draft up for Christina.
So I think we'll have to pass a motion on this.
And I have another bill. Do you want to do them individually or together?
I think it's better to do individually, right?
Individually.
Yeah.
All right. So then there's a motion to support the Middle Eastern Commission's their bill for a Muslim Heritage and a Jewish American Heritage Month. And I want to also state that it's sponsored by Delegate Wallach and Delegate Solomon, Jared Solomon. So one is Muslim, one is Jewish. So I think it's kind of nice to have this type of bill together, given everything that's happening in the world.
I second it.
Okay.
So
Devang, Commissioner Devang Shah is making the motion, and Commissioner or Vice Chair Ahmed Nawaz is seconding the motion.
Yes. Yes, please.
And that's to support the
it's House Bill 0661.
House Bill
Remember-
0061.
0661.
Yes. Okay.
For commemorative month for Muslim American Heritage and Jewish American Heritage Month.
Devang, do you know when the committee is going to do a public hearing on that?
It says March 17th at 1 p.m. in the House.
Okay.
And it's going to be the Labor and Elections, Government Labor and Elections Committee.
Okay. Because I did testify last year.
Okay.
I'll do that again this year.
You may want to reach out to Sarah.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't have her number, I can connect you. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
All
All right.
So all those who are in favor say yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Anybody opposing? Nay. Anybody abstaining? Okay, this
I'm sorry.
motion is
Did
passed.
Armanjeet vote? That was yay. Okay.
Everybody voted. Okay. All right, great. So, Devang, what about the second bill?
A second bill is in support of the Indian Affairs Commission, and it's House Bill 588. And it requires the governor to annually proclaim May 5th as a Missing and Murdered American Indian and Alaskan Native Women and Girls Awareness Day. The bill also requires the Department of State Police to submit a report to the General Assembly by December 1st, 2026. And I think what they're looking for in that report is collecting data on violence against American Indian, Alaskan Native individuals in the state, and policy recommendations for improving such data collections and improving coordination with federal law enforcement agencies and raising public awareness of violence experienced by American Indian and Alaskan Native individuals, particularly women and girls.
So just to give you a little background, there's been data showing that, American Indian women are 10 times more likely to be abused and to be, kind of found murdered or dead or homicides than what is in regular metropolitan cities and other places. So this commission has asked us for this support. So can somebody pass a motion to get this bill passed?
I'll make a motion.
Who'll second it? Can somebody second it?
I'll
Second it.
second it.
So Commissioner Preeti Menon made the motion. And I'm sorry, who's second?
Arti.
Artie? Commissioner Artie Bott, thank you.
Right.
And for the record, it's House Bill 588.
Yes, thank you, Devon.
So everybody in support of this say yay? Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Any nays? Okay, anybody abstaining? Great, so the motion is passed. Thank you. Okay. Anything else, Devon?
No, that's it. Thank you. Sure.
Great, okay. So, now, Dr. Khan, you're back, so can you please take the education?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for indulging in the wait time as well. The Education Committee met. Thank you, Christina, for joining on that committee. We had a lot of good ideas. So I'm going to summarize it. The minutes, Chair Takar and Chair Nawaz, you do have access to those as well. They are on our Goshi Drive as well. But let me just summarize what we decided. I kind of was listening while I was eating, but I think whether we do a mega event or a small event, what we have agreed is whatever event that this commission holds, we allow space for a candidate to come in, and we are going to have a fireside conversation. So the idea is to highlight or recognize or showcase an educator, a student, or a staff member in education. We are looking at K to 20, which means K to 12, and college as well. So we are calling that, believe it or not, well, I've some ideas, but I think I came up with the idea of the chat or chai with Desi leaders. Why not? If you can't have chat, you can have a chai with Desi leaders. And I think it will resonate with almost all South Asians as well. So we are going to have a room or somewhere, and we are going to be able to have a conversation with them, record the conversation, maybe highlight their quotes somewhere else there too, put on the website too. The intent is to recognize people who are educators, staff, or students who are doing amazing things. So the question is, how do we select that process? So we know where we are going to do that. We are going to do that in any SAA event in 2026. But to make sure that we are able to recognize, so the committee right now is in the groundwork right now, which is they're going to come up with both a question and a rubric of how we select. Once the questions are selected, we are going to have another meeting where we're going to select the questions, and then we are going to come to the survey. I will let Tanaya know, so make sure that it passes the GOSI standard, and we're going to send it out to both the schools and the colleges, and we will also ask the MSDE and the Maryland Higher Ed to send the survey out to the educators and the students. And we hope we get good attendance this time around there. So why do I bring that to commission? Well, one is this as an FYI. Number two, if we are going to have any event, if we can save us a room for that fireside conversations, have that. We have not officially named it. That's another thing that they are going to look, the committee is going to be looking at and voting on the naming of the fireside conversations. But beyond that, our committee was active and we had other proposals. The other proposals we had was, we talked about having an internship and summer program collaboration as well. And so this is to explore the opportunity of into the fireside conversations as well too. We also looked at, and what Christina talked already about the MD 250, the Citizenship Day. We were also looking at peer-to-peer networking because we all know we are only successful if we have networks. What we're also going to do is make sure that we don't burden Christina. We're going to select candidates, and we will allow Christina the courtesy of enough time frame to secure a citation from the governor that we can present at those at what I'm going to call the SSA event. But one of the reasons I'm coming here on behalf of the committee is not only to have an official certificate, but also give a medal. And the reason for that is medal goes a long way for a candidate, whether it's a student or faculty, to be recognized. Governor citation always helps, but an official certificate, we get a lot of certificates, we just shove them there. So our proposal is to the commission to financially support the medal by any means necessary, right? What that means is either we get non-discretionary funds now, or we use if we have discretionary funds right now. There are other things we looked at, which is creating a 30 under 30 South Asian Scholars Recognition Program, social media campaign, a press outreach, hosting an ethnic student day. The question always comes is how do we make sure that we can sustain that? So the other one was for truly, honestly, by the way, this is a dream of mine, but a dream of many on the education committee too as well, that we do our best to establish a scholarship fund through philanthropic donations. It is very similar to what a senatorial scholarship is. So for example, in all of your counties, you have a state senator and they give about maybe $18,000 to $20,000 scholarship. Both of my sons were benefit of that. Now, $1,000 goes a long way to a family of just two working adults. So just imagine how much does it go to people whose family members may be into their Pell Grants and not as financially stable as we are. And so I'm going to present that to this commission to see or seek opportunities while we are coming up with events. We know the contacts members, we know they're kind donors in our community and philanthropic donation. The question is, how do we maintain the donations? Christina, you're going to come into being on that there. So one of the things I shy away from is to say, well, this has never been done. And I think, my family, it has never been done that someone went abroad and got a PhD, but it got done. Nobody in my family ever got a PhD, but guess what? I got a PhD. So I think we should shy away from this cannot be done to this, how can we make this happen? Because I think we owe it to the next generation that if we know kind donors, let's tap onto them and build a scholarship fund. So right now, a proposal that's more immediate is to ask the commission as a whole to at least support the medal for candidates. And we're not asking for 20, 30 medals. At best, the idea is for us to launch the survey sometime before the schools are out, which is June. And then we are going to be able to allow them to a month or two. And then September, we kind of vote as a committee, and then we bring it to the commission. If you want to partake in that process, feel free. We love to have more people. And then so we are looking at recognizing them sometime after September. So, if we can get like 3, 4 people and we can give them medal on behalf of the commission, that would go a long way in addition to the citation, especially pictures talk loud too. But the philanthropic scholarship, I think that's something we ought to look at in the long run as well too. So that is my report. So, but I'm going to ask the education committee members to please chime in if I left something out.
The only thing I would add is we talked about highlighting educators past the fireside chat. So I don't know if that's something that can be added or how we would do that.
So what we're going to do is, Preeti, is we're going to have them go through that questionnaire that they will fill out as well. So that's something we can do as well. So that's something our committee can figure out the questionnaire as well.
Okay.
So for the fireside conversations, they have to be there, right? But
Right.
for the other one, they're just there to be recognized. So So I'm not going to put the motion on the floor because I think it will be not appropriate for me to put a motion on the floor for the commission to at least seek out avenues to secure funding for the medals for those who are the brightest among our community.
So, what funding are we looking at? What is the amount we are looking at?
So, Dr. Nawaz, I looked at these medals. And again, I'm not going to give you the name of the company because it would be unfair for me to do so. But they usually are generally the same price. So, a medal that is, is inscribed medal costs about maybe $50 to $70. Depends on if you want just a bronze medal or if you want a lot of colors there. So, $50 to $70 would be a medal. Education committee, you guys need to correct me wrong. We don't know how many candidates will fill the questionnaires and how many we can interview or bring into the events. But I would be very surprised if we cross 10 recognition within this year. So I'm thinking of maybe $1,000 to start off with, and then we build that money there. So I'm not asking for the moon right now, or at least we are not asking for the moon right now.
Sure.
But Preeti or Sushma, Aman, any thoughts? Faisal, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's between 7 to 10 for about 1,000. Yeah, that's a pretty good number. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we had finally had this discussion back and forth between medals and certificates, we had said that it would be best to do certificates because of the no cost. Like if we couldn't, like that was gonna be our, I guess, fallback. And so, honestly, like I see my kids get medals and they just are in their room somewhere. So I feel like I'm more comfortable with presenting them with a certificate that can be scanned and added to their college applications or whatever, I'm fine with that. But if we can find the funding to add the medals to the certificates, that's fine too. But I just
So
remember
Preeti, the certificate with a plaque, like kind of like in a frame, right? Like kind of nice looking frame to
Sure.
put it on the
Yeah.
wall.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that's fine. Like, however, we hadn't discussed like the details on what the certificate would
Yeah.
look like, but
Yeah, but you're right. The certificate was a fallback if by September the commission comes back and say we have no funding or we need funding for other events and we just cannot tap onto the same funders again and again.
Right. And then we talked about spotlights. So I think
Yes.
that's what I was talking about when we said like
Mhm.
the educators or we talked about college students like highlighting their research or like and especially arts and culture part because
Yes.
arts and culture like that arts get kind of the back seat in South Asian communities and students. So we were going to try to do spotlights of that too.
And if we can get the information in 45 days in advance, we can place a request for a citation for the governor's citation.
Okay.
So Raza, you need to pass some kind of resolution. Is that what you said?
Well, so it's, resolution requires that there's an action. So this is just, I don't know, when is our next meeting?
Pretty soon,
Yeah, I know it's
Like-
sometime
like in like a week, like 2 weeks, I
2
think.
weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so what if I do this? What if I find out what I present a quote, because that's probably better to have a concrete number of how much it would cost to have a medal and how much it would cost to have a certificate on the plaque. The governor citation, I don't think we should put them in the frame because those are usually larger and they're much costly. And I will tell you, I have a governor citation in my office. The certificate, the frame itself was more expensive to have it. That was for the STEM conference. But again, so I will look into the cost and I can present that. So that could be docketed into the agenda, Chair Takar, so if you agree with that. And then in that way, we can have a motion to either look for funding. If not, then the fallback would be we just give them a plain certificate if we cannot even afford. But I just want to put this out there to docket the item right now. And the other key piece, by the way, Chair Takar and the commission also is to really look for the funding for scholarship because there are amazing students that I know who cannot afford to further their education. And I think that's something as a commission we have the contacts. And the key issue is how do we start the scholarship? Who maintains it? Where does it held? And again, that's something, a conversation that has to go on further.
So Lisa, you have a question? You have your hand raised.
You're muted. You're mute.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes, when we spoke about the next meeting, I had the 18th and the 25th, and I see Amon just
It's the 25th.
confirmed the 25th, so I'll remove the 18th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Aarti, you're on mute.
So my question I'm just going to pivot really quickly to May. So I had dropped in the chat just some of the updates. I'm going to pivot really quickly to AAPI Heritage Month upcoming in May that we always excuse me, that we always collaborate with our Asian American Commission partners. And so we're going to be equally doing that same collaboration this year. We did have a quick meeting last week, and we discussed some of the ideas and thoughts over email. We were going back and forth on possibility of dates. May 17th looks like the date that worked for most, if not all. And we proposed the idea of having hosting a panel discussion this year versus the similar process that we've done for the past, I think, maybe 2 years now, which was the performances and speakers and just I think just the agenda items that we have followed in the past. I think we wanted to switch it up this year and not do performances, really focus in on a panel discussion. We have not planned what that panel discussion looks like, the topic, or any of that. But I just wanted to share that information with you all here. And I know Lisa was in that meeting. The topic, Christina, for you did come up around letting GoSee know, what our plan was, which I did put in an email to both you and Preet, as well as the other partners from Asian American Commission. And I need to know if there's any questions or comments from GoSee. If not, we need to proceed forward in terms of planning, considering it's already, mid-March.
Yes, I will say that it is unlikely if the request is to have the panel discussion program at Government House. They're not set up to have events like that. And I would suggest looking into finding the alternative venue.
Yeah, and just to back that up, I've tried and it's very hard to get some answers. And, right now I think they're just very tied up with the legislative session and stuff like that. So, I'm having a hard time trying to really get some good answers. So let's have a backup, I would say,
Yeah, I guess the first step really is there was some, not concern, there was a point that was made that we need to get this approved, quote unquote, from GoSee. So I need to know, and I need it in writing that, yes, GoSee is aware, we are on board, we can proceed forward. The idea was, yes, of course, Government House, but we all understand that, that's not always feasible. So we, obviously a second option is some community space. But if Christina, you are saying that, yes, this is green lighted, then I will let the others know we can proceed and we can begin planning.
I would say go forth in planning to find a different venue.
Okay, great. So I think what I do need from this group is just some thoughts and ideas on panelists you'd like to see or hear from or be a part of this event. It is, I think we're looking at maybe a 2-hour event, if I'm not, maybe 2.5-hour event. So it's, I think we need to be mindful in terms of how many panelists. So I think we cap it at 4 maybe 2 from South Asian, 2 from Asian American, and obviously we have a moderator. So that's a pretty full stage for an hour discussion. I don't anticipate the panel discussion going any further than an hour. You start to lose folks. So I do need some thoughts and ideas on possible panelists that we'd like to host and have representing our group. Obviously, we're quite challenged with budget resources, as we always are every year. Most likely, this would be pro bono. This would not be covered in terms of any type of fee. But I know there's many speakers locally that have other ideas and thoughts in terms of books that they may be launching and utilize this platform, right? So there's always those types of partnerships that we could explore. So
Sure.
again, just need some thoughts and ideas from this group.
So not to, cut anybody, but we have literally 3 minutes now for the meeting to end. Is this something, Arti, you think you could do on your, like, how you typically do on on your form,
Yeah. So I'm going to send this out as well.
Just send that over, and I would appreciate that. That way people can send their comments. If you have some ideas, just whatever. That'll be great. Really appreciate that. Okay, thank you. So moving on to MD 250, I think we've already pretty much covered that in the old business.
And I need to give my report, Chair.
The report, I thought you were putting a draft together, and then we were going to do that. So
No, I didn't give my report yet. Because Special Secretary wasn't here. So we skipped that agenda item.
Okay, so let's get that done probably before the next meeting, I guess.
So just real quick, are we done with that agenda item? Because then I'll move to my report.
Which do you want to the new business? You want to move on to the new business?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I don't think so. There's anything on new business. Anybody has anything on new business? Well, we pretty much talked about everything. Community charge and future work is pretty much what we've discussed already. You want to go ahead, Christina?
Okay, thank you. Just real quick. Since our last commission meeting on January 21st, I attended 23 meetings and 3 events as a representative of the Governor's Commission on South Asian American Affairs, and the commissioners attended 4 meetings and 5 community events. These community events included the Peace Walk. Thank you, Chair Preet Dakar, for being the lead on that. It was a wonderful event. We had 150,000 people show up. There was also an iftar that Commissioner Faisal Kader attended. Thank you for attending that and representing us. And then there was the International Women's Day that was organized by the Asian American Center Frederick. We had several different commissioners who were there, including Commissioner Preeti Menon, Commissioner Sushma Patluri, and Commissioner Aman Shergill. Thank you all. And as always, I encourage you to engage and represent at more community events in 2026. To remind you to complete the GOCI event request form before attending these events as a representative of the commission. Additionally, since our last meeting, all commissioners should have received an email from former executive Larry Walker about the transition of GOCI executive leadership. He has moved on to another position in the administration, and I was going to introduce Special Secretary Maria Martinez, who again was not able to make it this evening due to a meeting that she was pulled into, but she will join us at our next meeting. And Chair?
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Please.
All right, great. So thank you, Christina. Okay, so there's no real public announcement that I have. Anybody else has any public announcement? All right. So if there's no public announcement, we'll move. I need somebody to move a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
meeting.
adjourn.
Second.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the first?
Raza.
Who made the? Did you get Lisa?
Dr.
Who made
Khan,
the?
Dr. Khan was first. Raza Khan.
Dr. Khan? Okay, Raza was, okay.
I think I had 3 or 4 do the second, but
Okay, somebody speak
everybody
up and
wants to
say
move.
on
Yeah,
this.
exactly. I think it was Devang, right?
I think
I
it
think
was
Faisal,
Devang.
Faisal beat me to it.
Faisal. Okay. Yeah,
It's
It was
okay.
the-
Yeah, that's fine.
Officially, who was the
You get
second?
credit.
No, you can
Faisal.
put my name, Christina Faisal.
Okay,
Faisal.
thank you.
Mhm.
All right,
And
great.
did you have the vote?
Yep. Everybody in favor say yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Anybody nay? I didn't think so. Okay. Anybody abstaining? All right, great. Thank you, everybody. This was a great meeting. Really appreciate you all being here for 2 hours and appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
night.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
Night.
good night.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night. Thank you.
Mhm.